Do you see
You
yourself?
stop? Yeah, you're tiny. I see.
We all love playing games, but it's even more fun to play them with your friends. So today we want to show you how to add a multiplayer functionality to your game.
All right, yeah, so here's the game that Kier whipped up right before the stream. You can really easily add a multiplayer to it by heading over to Supabase here. Supabase is pretty much a way of you being able to add backends to an app or game. What a backend is essentially like a spreadsheet of all of the data and stuff that's going to be the same for everybody who's playing the game or using the app. When you're on YouTube, you're clicking around on stuff. That's the front end, the stuff that you see on only your computer. But the back end is what is the same for everybody, like the videos and the accounts and everything, and the likes and all that. On our game, data is going to be who's in the game, where you are, things like that, since it's going to be multiplayer, right? So that stuff is going to be needing to be on the back end, because the front end is like your ship and the ground and stuff like that. But the where people are and who's playing the game, that needs to be in the back end. So that's what Supabase can take care of in your project. When you sign up, you'll end up here on your dashboard. You'll see, you might not see any projects here. I have a few I've made already, but you'll be able to hit the new project button. You also have to create an organization. On Supabase, all organization is just a way of organizing your projects together. So I have Rosebud Test. So all I'm going to do is just add the name of my project. Make sure you name it something that you're going to remember that is unique for your game. So I'm making a flight sim, so I can say flight sim multiplayer. You can call it anything you want. The compute size is like how much power you need for your backend. You could just choose the cheapest one. In fact, you're probably going to be on the free tier when you're starting, so just click whatever the option is there. And then it'll give you a database password field. You can just generate one. Make sure you copy this and save it. You're not going to need to really do anything with this, but just save it just in case. And then region is basically choose whatever is closest to the people who are going to be playing your game. I'm going to click North California and then hit create new project. That's all you have to do, and then it will start creating your backend. Okay, so now you can see on this screen here, it says Flight Sim Multiplayer. That's this project. It says setting up. You can just wait for that. But here it tells you two very important things. You need these. These are going to be crucial for you to actually connect your backend to your game. Anon public, which is your key, and then you have URL here, which is basically a unique URL for your backend. The reason why it's important for you to remember those two is that that's the only way you can actually hook up your project to your Rosebud project. Now that we've actually created the backend, we actually have to make the game be multiplayer. Right now, this is a single player game. I'm flying around, it works, but like we can't just hook up to the backend right now because we actually haven't made this multiplayer. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna make the game multiplayer and then hook up our Supabase project to this, and then that will basically power up the multiplayer systems that we've already made in the game. You might be like, okay, how do I actually make my game multiplayer then? Well, actually, we have a very easy way of doing that. That's actually really quick. What you can do is head over to this template here. It's called Multiplayer Ready Template. Remix this Multiplayer Ready template. And in the code tab here, which shows you the code of your project, you see this thing called Multiplayer Guide. All you really need to do is just copy this and then paste it into your actual game and say, I want to make my game multiplayer, follow this guide, and then paste it.
So the guide can be also found in the description to this video.
Now I've copied that. I can just say, I want to make this multiplayer. Here is the guide. Because you don't have to word it that specific way, but yeah. I paste that, and now Rosie should start making changes to this to make it support multiplayer. So she's already creating a file called multiplayermanager.js. You can see here, Supabase URL, this is not real. XYZ company, this is also not a real Anon key. It doesn't matter though, because we're gonna replace this with our actual one. I remember we said it's important to know where they are down here. Project API, project URL, API key. Okay, the next step is to create a remote airplane component to represent other players in the game. I can say do it, and then she'll continue with that next step.
So how do we know when the multiplayer setup was ready for us to add the API key?
The best way to tell is when Rosie starts to say things like, okay, let's add a system to show how many people are connected. She's actually already doing that right now. She starts saying things like, oh, how many people are connected, or oh, show when people, indicator when people join. But honestly, if you want to just be safe, if you don't know at all, you could just add the key at any point. You can just add it as soon as you want. And then at that point, now you know it's good. So now you can just actually just test the real game instead of having to guess when you should add the key.
All right, can we add the key now?
I'm going to head back to my Supabase project, copy project URL. This is my project URL. This is my API key. And Rosie should replace those two spots in our code on her own. so you don't have to go and copy yourself.
Please do not use that API key, otherwise you're going to crash our game.
Okay, now she's saying update the HUD to display the number of connected players. So that means that most likely the multiplayer is not ready yet, and that's fine. You just continue with the steps.
And it's good to pay attention to what you see in the response in the bottom as a next step, right? So when you say do it, you basically mean do the next step that is suggested. Sometimes you can build a whole game just saying like, yeah, do the next step, or implement it, do it. All right, you just keep saying do it. And I guess we're going to be back when it's ready.
2 hours later.
Oh, wow. So now it has like a whole multiplayer dashboard.
Now it's time for us to actually ask the question, is this ready for multiplayer? So I'll say, is this ready to play? It says yes, the file system is ready. Okay, let's see if that actually works though. I'll publish this. Over here in the top right, we have our publish feature where you can simply upload a preview image, enter description, and then publish, and then you have a URL you can share with anybody and they can play without logging in or anything.
All right, so I'm in, and I'm gonna name this out. Join multiplayer. Really?
Wait, go to the sun. It's like a yellow dot. Like,
okay, I see it. I see the dot. Like, stop. That's so funny. Why is it so tiny? Do you see it here, Sean?
You stopped? I see. Wait a second. Yeah, you're tiny. I see. I guess be very attentive.
Well, okay, let's tell her to fix the sizes.
I don't know if I should even tell her how much bigger, or she'll know. You make them, 10x?
A few moments later.
Okay, just published.
All right, I'm in.
I'm pretty sure you're still tiny. I just saw you dart past me. Oh, I see you.
I mean, not as tiny. So
yeah,
it indeed works. It is bigger now. I think it is.
Oh, yeah. It is definitely bigger.
All right, so Jason did a couple of more fixes, and this looks even better. It took only an extra 5 minutes. The ship looks normal size. So come back.
Zoomed away. Okay, I'll stop it.
You're too fast. So it's too fast. And you have the name tag. Pretty cool. Let me actually switch to Jason's screen. Yep, so he can see me.
I see him.
As you see, guys, it's way more smooth. So initially it was kind of like choppy.
Yeah, so you don't have to necessarily even understand how she's doing it. Just say, hey, people's movements are choppy right now, and then she'll be able to smooth it up.
All right, cool. That's how you can add multiplayer to your game on Rosebud.ai. Try it out. All the links are going to be in description. Hopefully, you're going to be able to make your own multiplayer games. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Jason, for making it work. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
See you.